Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is the first video on the channel, so I'd love your support. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Let's dive in. The heavy rain tonight is expected to last for at least a week. The observatory issued a warning to everyone that this storm could reach a red level alert. Right now, someone has their bookstore open in the middle of this downpour, carefully placing books on a shelf, thinking, "Wow, this rain is intense. Looks like I won't have any customers again. But what if someone forgot their umbrella? Maybe they'll need shelter. I'm just too kind. Could these small acts of kindness and compassion bring me a bit of money? No, I shouldn't think like that. What I truly need is just my customers' gratitude. Of course, if they happen to feel touched by my hospitality and pick up a book or two, that'd be amazing." But meanwhile, under the moonlight, a fight is breaking out. A sword slashes through the air. The girl already took a guy's arm clean off. Now it's just a stump. Damn, it's unclear if she's a vampire or an elf, but what's certain is that she strikes hard. The men are groaning on the ground. Two more approach. She lifts two fingers to block the blade, catches it, returns the strike straight into another man's skull, teleports behind the next, grabs him by the wrists, then by the neck. Game over. But the fierce warrior has taken a stab to the hip, bleeding heavily onto the soaked ground. Damn, so it's finally over. But I think I broke 3 or 4 ribs. I just need a little time to heal. Even with my cursed blood, it'll still take an hour to recover. I need to find a place to hide, or I'll be in trouble. Time. I need time. She stumbles down the street. And what shop does she see open in this storm? A bookstore. Out of all the places in the area, the only one open is a bookstore. Why are they open in this weather? Is this a coincidence or a trap? Well, it doesn't matter. She needs cover and as much time as she can get. She enters. The little bell rings. The shopkeeper glances over and says, "Welcome. I've been expecting you, brave customer, who dared to face the rain." He's already in his element, thinking, she's definitely got a story to tell. And if that's the case, he's switching into therapist mode to make a few sales. "I have a warm towel here for you. Would you prefer to dry off or warm up with some tea first?" She's confused, thinking, expecting me? Why does he already have everything I need? Could he have known about my wounds? A regular shop shouldn't be this prepared. This can't be a coincidence. He's hiding something. She thanks him, noting how intense the rain really is, but starts wondering, what group could he be from? Secret Instrument Tower? Truth Society? Or maybe Walpurgis Night? Well, it doesn't matter. Clearly, this man is no ordinary bookseller. Then she asks, "Wait, did you say you were expecting me?" He replies, Of course. Sometimes fate is magical. 2 strangers meeting out of the blue. You look like someone in a tough spot." She's shaken. How does he know that? But in his head, he just made a casual suggestion, something therapists often do. When she says yes, he thinks, perfect, this is my chance to heal her wounds and build a deeper connection. She replies, "I've been dealing with problems that are driving me insane." Even though she's still unsure if she's a friend or foe, she knows the best course is to figure out who he is. He pours the tea and says, "A problem, you say? If I had to guess, it's related to relationships." Just another vague therapy trick to see if she'll open up. But she's in turmoil, thinking, what does he mean by that? Could he already know about my connection to the White Wolf and all the issues I've had? He pulls out a chair. "Why don't you take a seat?" But she's still wary. How does he know all this? My bond with the White Wolf only just shattered. It makes no sense. Did he know everything from the start? No, that can't be it. So she confesses, "I was betrayed. Everything is that man's fault." The appearance of the magic mirror, a magical beast's egg that lures in souls. Because of it, years of companionship were traded for greed and profit. They even used their own group to hunt down former allies. Pathetic. Of course, the shopkeeper thinks she's talking about a romantic betrayal and thinks, perfect, if the heartbreak was this deep, she'll be even more likely to buy something. He hands her a cup and says, Every story has two sides. Sure, you were betrayed, but wasn't it also the perfect moment to truly see who they were? She thinks, seems like he really did know all along, but he's right. If they were that rotten, it was only a matter of time before something exposed their greed. She tells him, "You're right, but I feel lost, and I'm in pain from all this betrayal. What's the point in ignoring all their vile actions?" He tries to figure it out. Lost and hurt? Okay, so the guy probably hurt her badly. Got it. In that case, let this silver tongue of mine convince you. He adds, "Of course there's a point. Now that you know what's real, you won't hesitate against those who've harmed you, not even those who were once close to you." She starts to believe she understands everything. "I get it now. That's why he was waiting for me. He wants to use me as a weapon against the hunters. He's clever, refined, and despises hunters. That's it. He must be a high-ranking dark mage." She asks, "What do you think I should do then?" He replies, "Now that you've lost your humanity, an eye for an eye. You don't need to go easy on people like them anymore." That's his third technique, a direct suggestion. He assumes she's just reeling from a toxic ex and gives a blunt answer. But the situation is far more complicated. She responds, "What do you mean by lost my humanity? I'm not ready for something like that." The shopkeeper realizes, so maybe this isn't exactly what I thought, but I was close enough. "Hold on, I've got just the thing," he says. "I think what you really need is this book right here." Perfect. Thankfully, he had Rousseau's Confessions on hand. Dry, philosophical stuff, perfect for a confused girl. But when she looks at the cover, it's not Confessions of Rousseau at all. It's Blood and the Beast. Blood and the Beast? I've never heard of this. Why is he giving me this out of nowhere? She touches the book and falls into an illusion. Blood spills from it, soaking the pages. She's trapped in a dreamlike vision, and inside it, a creature emerges, inching closer with sharp teeth. She feels a strange energy, lycanthropy. That's it, the power of those who become wolves. She stiffens, thinking, wait, lycanthropy is the power sealed in blood. Hunters grow stronger by injecting themselves with beast blood. The more potent the blood, the stronger the hunter. But they all fall eventually, due to the side effects. But this man seems to control the blood. If that's the case, he might be able to reverse the whole system. She turns to him and asks, "This? You want me to do this?" "Yes, you must," he says. "Not out of regret, but because you need to face yourself honestly again." The shopkeeper reflects, "No matter how tough she seems, a broken-hearted girl is always so sentimental. All I can offer are a few comforting words and a good book." He notices she's about to cry. Better give her a little boost in confidence. So he reads her a quote from the book. "When the final trumpet sounds, I will appear before the sovereign judge with this book in hand and loudly declare, 'Yes, I acted. These are my desires.' Because all beings carry primal urges." He looks into her eyes and asks, "Don't you agree?" She thinks, "Perfect, no doubt. Comforting people really is his specialty. Trust me, face it head on, and you'll feel reborn." That's the fourth technique, the decisive closure. Once the client opens up emotionally, just guide them confidently down the right path, empowering them to take control. He raises his cup. "A toast to a new tomorrow." She gratefully replies, "Thank you for guiding me. I'll follow your advice. Let's do this." And gulps the drink down all at once. But it was boiling water. The shopkeeper panics. "Miss, why are you drinking boiling water like that? It was just meant to warm you a bit." But her body remains unfazed. He thinks, does she have some kind of legendary body made of iron? Weird. To close the sale, he grabs a registration card. "Just write down your name here." She's hesitant, wondering if she's signing some kind of strange pact. He sees the name G.G. Shu. Instantly, he remembers a wealthy man named Ji Bonong. He thinks, could she be his daughter? Jackpot! I've landed a big one. I can help her generously. Gotta think long-term now. The rental period is 1 month, but you can extend it for up to a week. This storm's intense, so I'll lend you an umbrella. Just make sure to bring it back next time. She takes the umbrella, thanks him, and asks, can I know a bit more about you? He's caught off guard, thinking, huh? Did I flirt with her? I don't remember doing that. I guess I'll just be honest. He replies, my name is Lin Ji. I'm simply a kind-hearted bookstore owner. As she walks to the door, she thinks, he doesn't seem willing to reveal his true identity, but he feels like he's on my side. See you soon, Mr. Lin. Have a good night. He simply tells her to stay safe and come back anytime. She leaves, and he reflects. Once again, I did a good deed. Helping others each day really does feel rewarding. Maybe that's why I ended up in this world. Time to tidy up and prepare for the next customer, if anyone else shows up today. Meanwhile, she walks home in the rain, pondering. That man is dangerous. He wants me to take care of the trader before the deadline. Come back any time. What did he really mean by that? At that moment, someone approaches. A man with a silver cane. She sees his figure in the rain, his hand wrapped in bandages, a book in the other. The scene cuts to the protagonist placing a book on the shelf, a book he wrote himself, Rituals and Folklore, author Lin Ji. He stares at the cover and thinks, looking at this brings back so many memories. Ever since I was transported to this world, I've been living in this city called Nokim. It's been 3 years now. We're taken to a flashback from 2017. The protagonist was a folklore professor at a university. A student appears. Professor Lin, we're closing up. Aren't you leaving? No, I'll stay a bit longer to read. You go ahead. I'll lock up when I'm done. She nods. All right, see you tomorrow, Professor Lin. As she leaves, she runs into another girl in the hallway. Wow, it's late. Is Lin still in there? Yeah, he's still in. He's obsessed with books. I even heard he spends most of his salary collecting them like a maniac. The protagonist behind a shelf overhears the conversation. He sighs, then walks into a room. Inside, there's a glowing pentagram. Some sort of ritual is underway. He steps into the center and says, perfect. The ritual setup is complete. I know fulfilling my wish is nothing but a fantasy, but what if there's even a sliver of hope? I'll do whatever it takes. He activates the ritual circle. Please, grant me all the books in this world. Yup, the protagonist literally cast a spell to get books. Nothing happens at first. He stands still, disappointed. Guess it didn't work. Should have known nothing would happen. But right behind him, a massive creature, like a giant worm, silently observes. Still lost in thought, he mutters, a magic circle that grants any wish. Huh, what nonsense. Suddenly, he hears a sound behind him. He turns around and finds himself in a blood-drenched world, standing before a colossal door. At that moment, he realized if he opened that door, he'd reach his dream. The price? Never returning to Earth. But he didn't hesitate, not even for a moment. He stepped through. Once through the door, he arrived in the city of Nokim. Reflecting on that moment now, he thinks, time flies. Living here isn't all that different. But logically speaking, shouldn't there have been some kind of cost for that ritual? Shouldn't something have come to collect it? He looks around. Every day here is so slow and peaceful. But I don't mind. I could keep updating my bookshelf forever and collect every book in existence. Plus, helping my customers is pretty fulfilling. The joy of being a teacher of life. It's been a while since I had a customer, he says, putting another book in place. But my conversational skills haven't dulled a bit. I'm sure I made that girl feel better today. Back to our little vampire. She's frozen in place as a man casually walks past her. She thinks, I can't move a muscle, even my hand's stuck. The man glances back. So that's the book. What a lucky girl. Her body remains paralyzed. When she looks back, he's already gone. She collapses, soaked in sweat. He can't be. No. Cut to the man arriving at the protagonist's shop. As he enters, the protagonist immediately recognizes him. Ah, it's old Wild, returning a book today? The man smiles as he walks up to him. Mr. Lin, why not call me by my real name? Ah, of course, Mr. Wild. Wild continues. I saw you've got a new customer, even gave her that popular book. The protagonist replies. Ah, I just thought it would suit her. Fair enough, here's the book you lent me. I told you, an old man shouldn't read such complicated stuff. You were just going to get more confused. Why didn't you listen to me? Wild sighs. I realized that after reading it. That book was far too profound for me. It's like a whole universe. With my limited knowledge, I can't even imagine the kind of mind capable of creating something so immense. Outside, the warrior girl watches and thinks, I knew it. It's the faceless black scale, Frank Wild, a high-level dark mage. In this world, there's a classification system called APDI, abnormal, perilous, destructive, and indescribable. Wild is infamous as the faceless black scale, a mage ranked as destructive. His most iconic trait is his renowned mask. Not to mention, part of his blood is serpentine. His body partially resembles a snake. He once fought alone against 10 holy knights from the tower and leveled an entire region of 10,000 square kilometers. That's how he earned his destructive title. There are only 10 beings of destructive level in the entire Nikon region, fewer than 100 across the world of Azir. To think the owner of that bookstore casually talks with someone that powerful. Today, I truly met someone extraordinary. Back in the shop, the protagonist tells Wild, You seem a bit down today. If you ever need anything, just say the word. He knows Wild is one of the few regulars who always drop by, a part of his daily life. He must be a lonely old man, an empty house, longing for company. From what I know, he has 2 sons, but neither treats him well. His wife left him, and his peers avoid him due to his appearance. That's why he's always alone. Ah, such nostalgia, when we first met 2 years ago. Flashback. The first time Wild came to the bookstore, the protagonist immediately assessed his style. My instincts tell me, this guy has a backstory. Judging by his clothes, he's well off. He's hiding his face. Maybe stylish, or maybe spiritually wounded. He seems scholarly. If I do this right, I might earn a loyal customer. Wild approaches. You're the shopkeeper here, right? A collector of rare books. This one's been with me for a while. Might be worth something. Absolutely. We handle all sorts of services. Just a sec. In the meantime, have some tea. Trying to break the ice, the protagonist offers him a drink. But Wild replies, No need. This old face of mine scares people. I don't want to cause trouble. You're a guest. Why would I be afraid? Judging others by looks instead of their heart is nonsense. Don't you agree? Wild nods. Well said. In that case, I'll accept. Thank you for the tea. The protagonist thinks, Mamma mia, that mask of his is more bizarre than scary. Seems like it's hiding some wound. Whatever, not my business. Flipping through the book Wild brought, the protagonist notes, he's been researching obscure languages. Seems into linguistics. I'll start there. Wild thanks him for the tea. The protagonist comments, This book appears to explore rare or dying languages. The words seem to contain some kind of potent magic.
Wild is shocked. Wait, he sensed the magic in my manuscripts? That's impossible. I sealed everything with personal exorcisms. Not even a destructive class mutant could detect that. Since I stepped in here, he's been overly calm. Who is this guy? I can't let my guard down. Even if I don't feel any aura, he's not normal. He asks, I have some background in linguistic studies. Have you ever researched this field? Or could you teach me a few things, if you don't mind? The protagonist answers, well, I haven't formally studied it, but I've read a few related books. I have some here. Thinking, knew it. He's a lonely scholar tired of being misunderstood. In that case, I'll offer him a new path. He hands him a book titled Wenzhonese, an extremely complex Chinese dialect. Said you're into languages, right? Let's see if you can decipher this. Wilde drops his cup upon seeing the cover. He stares at it, stunned. Language of demons. This is truly wicked, he thinks. Why are all his book covers so insane? Meanwhile, the protagonist is mentally celebrating. Yes, nailed it. Wilde exclaims, man, this is a gem. Where did you find it? The protagonist is momentarily speechless. I can't say I brought it from China. He wouldn't even know what that is. So he improvises. It comes from a magnificent ancient civilization, one of the last surviving languages of its kind. Sadly, I've never been able to return there. Wilde ponders those words. Wait a second. Ancient, splendid, lost civilization. And he speaks about it with such reverence. This guy might have ties to that place. Fascinating. What kind of terrifying being is he? With a smile and a casual wave, the protagonist asks, so, how should I address you, my customer? Wilde adjusts his stance and replies, my name is Frank Wilde. Nothing I've done is worth mentioning, but may I ask yours? My name is Lin Ji, just a humble bookstore owner. No need for formalities, Mr. Wilde. All of this happened 2 years ago. Now, back in the present, when the protagonist asked if he needed help, Wilde replies, nothing serious. I'm just stuck in my research. But thanks to that demon language book you gave me years ago, I found a new direction. Still, I need more hints, like the ones in that book. The protagonist thinks, he really calls it demon language? He's so earnest. Definitely has that dry scholar humor. And replies, so you're looking for a similar book? Scene cut, 40 years earlier. We see Wilde on a massive throne before a god, declaring, die! This is the power of mages. A mage is one who controls the power of words and language. White mages write spells. Dark mages recite incantations. If you're a dark mage and manage to find the sound of your soul, creating your own language, you'll gain access to indescribable power. Wilde snaps out of the memory, back in the present, with the protagonist saying, you want another book like that one? Yes, this book is incredibly difficult. It feels like part of a singular language, deeply tied to my culture, but I need something to help me understand it better. The protagonist thinks, just give me a moment. Wilde observes silently. Mr. Lin never changes, always helping others. Such a generous soul. 2 years ago, after I lost my battle with Joseph and my path became uncertain, it was he who guided me, and he gave me such a rare item without hesitation. He even manages to hide his power completely from someone at a destructive rank. This man must be some kind of hermit, a sage at the indescribable level. I finally found clues about the forbidden arts, all thanks to the knowledge in that book. All because of this omniscient scholar. I must show my gratitude. The protagonist pulls a book from the shelf, his own work, Rituals and Folklore, authored by Lin. Sorry for the wait. Now, this might sound a bit bold, but I think this one is perfect for you. Wilde examines the book. What is this? Truth be told, I'm quite confident in this area. He hands it over. Wilde takes the book, intrigued. Did you write this yourself? Just a modest piece of mine. Wilde's eyes widen. Unexpected. I'm familiar with the Church of Divine Faith, the Church of the Moon, and the plague worshippers behind the tall walls. These are the 3 major religions followed by most people. But Cult of the Ghouls, he's never heard of that, especially with such a sinister aura. Whoever wrote this must be wicked. Is Mr. Lin trying to form his own religion? Wilde looks to the protagonist. So this is your area of study, rituals. Yes, it's one of my research topics. You could say that. This book changed my destiny. But I wrote it long ago. That period's not worth discussing. Wild thinks. Long ago? Changed your destiny? Wait, now I get it. Mr. Lin is a scholar of forbidden knowledge. No wonder he hides himself. This kind of work would drive others away. This book seems handwritten. The protagonist explains he had an accident at the time and couldn't get it published. That copy is the only one in existence. Deep down, he regrets it. If he hadn't come to this world, he might have published the book and gained recognition in the field of folklore. He slams his hand on the table, annoyed by the memory. But since we know each other, I'll lend it to you. Of course, if you don't trust me, I can suggest other books. Wild hesitates. He's offering me something so precious and unpublished. Why such generosity? He finally replies, "It would be an honor to read your great work." But the doubt remains. Does he want something from me? Am I being used to test this book? The protagonist notices the hesitation and, slightly awkward, thinks, "Oh no, he's so kind. He was all excited until I mentioned it was a one-of-a-kind copy. Let me ease his mind." He approaches, places a hand on Wild's shoulder, and says, "Mr. Wild, I'm certain you'll add even more value to this book. Only when someone reads my work does my research truly have meaning. And to be honest, the book isn't all that important to me anymore. I already have a forest's worth of books. Besides, I could rewrite it any time. The knowledge lives here, in my mind, and that can't be taken. Fame and money are the only things people can take from me, and ironically, they're the most useless things to me. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Wild?" The old man is speechless. The protagonist, on the other hand, is quite pleased. Boom, take that, Mr. Wild. That's my secret for healing the soul. I'm sure he still craves fame and recognition, but that kind of thinking only hurts people like him. I'm giving him a way out, a chance to focus on others and heal himself. You see that, don't you? Wild rises. "I do. Thank you for your wisdom." And thinks, fame and fortune are meaningless. Is he warning me not to speak of this book because he doesn't want recognition? But the protagonist adds, "That said, if you find it worthwhile, I'd be happy if you recommended my work to others." Wild nods. "I will do my best." It seems this is the price Mr. Lin asks of me, to help spread the knowledge in his words. But he also reflects, still, I must do it without revealing his identity. I'll study the book in depth, then pass it on verbally. I must be careful, so no one finds out about him. Wild offers a gift. "Thank you again for all your guidance. Please accept this, just a token of my gratitude." He hands the protagonist a stone gargoyle. "Is this a gargoyle?" the protagonist asks, surprised. Wild explains, "It's not worth much, especially compared to the book, but I hope you'll accept it. My master gave it to me when I graduated. He praised this creature highly. It has strong magical resistance, extremely tough skin, razor-sharp claws and fangs. But best of all, it can instantly sense any murderous intent. In battle, this thing rivals even elite knights." The protagonist examines the gargoyle closely. How can he say this isn't valuable? It's so well crafted, it almost feels alive. Regardless of the price, this is worth a lot to me. I've heard such things ward off evil spirits. I bet this one does too. "Well, since it's from Old Wild, I have to accept this," he says, smiling. "This is absolutely to my liking. A beautiful piece of art. I can't wait to see what you bring me next time." The old man smiles. "Thank you. I'm glad you liked it." But he thinks, looks like he wasn't fazed by its power. But of course, it's just a mid-tier gargoyle, panic level. One of Mr. Lin's books could probably buy 1,000 of these. And yet, he accepted it so kindly, even praised it, just to be thoughtful. "Well then, Mr. Lin, I must be off. Until next time, I promise to bring you a gift next time that'll truly satisfy you. One worthy of the indescribable rank." The protagonist smiles. "I'll be looking forward to it. See you then." The old man leaves. The shop closes. The protagonist stands there, staring at the gargoyle, thoughtful. I wonder if Wild will bring me another one of these to make a pair. Is this one male or female?
Ah, who cares? It's intimidating enough. Gonna look great in here. He sighs. Whew, that's probably it for today. Being a good person really does bring luck, huh? He glances at the table and notices a patch of ink slowly rising across its surface. Suddenly, the ink scrawls out, "It's been a long time." The protagonist's eyes go wide. He recognizes it instantly. There's no doubt, it's the same being that brought him to this world. It's been 3 years since he last communicated with that entity. He responds, "So your appearance means the time has come for me to pay the price? Tell me, what do you want me to do?" He recalls how this existence once granted his greatest wish, and even now, nothing bad has happened. It must be a benevolent creature, like a genie. He only hopes the request won't be too outrageous. But then the being writes, "You have already paid the price. That is why I have awakened." The protagonist is puzzled. Wait, what? All I did was ask the old man to recommend my book? The being confirms, yes. So the price I had to pay was getting someone to recommend a book I wrote that benefits you? Yes. Well, then I guess that's fine. I did my part, I think. And with that, the entity vanishes. Cut to the city. A hooded man stands on a balcony, reporting over the phone. Jack reporting, "I've located the faceless black scale on 23rd Street in Nokim. Seems like he's involved in some kind of conflict with the hunters. He also spent a full hour inside a bookstore. Very suspicious. I believe that shop may be a hidden meeting point for dark mages." On the other end of the call, the agent thinks, "A dark mage meeting point. That's valuable intel. I'll compile everything and report to Joseph. Send me all the details." But then someone approaches Jack. Well, looks like we've got ourselves a brave little rat." Jack tries to react, but Wilde simply places his hand over the man's face and mutters, "Die." It's over. The man's soul leaves his body, absorbed by Wilde. His phone drops to the ground with a voice on the other end shouting, "Hello? What happened? Hello?" Wilde stomps on the phone, crushing it, and thinks, "How dare you spy on that residence? Death was a merciful sentence for such transgression." At the secret tower, inside the director's office, someone knocks on the door. "Sir, I have something strange to report." The man inside removes his glasses. "All right, come in, Claude." Claude steps in. "So, what happened? Is it about the magic mirror?" The director grumbles. "Those damn hunters, vermin of Nokum. If not for them, I'd be enjoying retirement in peace. I should turn their mothers' tombs into punching bags." "Sir, you should really watch your words," Claude warns. "What, something gonna happen? And you didn't even shut the door." "Apologies. Actually, this is a new case." "A new case? That's amusing. But what could be more important than the hunter's mess?" "The spy assigned to watch 23rd Street in Nokim was killed, but before he died, he reported spotting Wilde." "Wilde?" "Frank Wilde, the destructive class mage who vanished after the battle with the knights 2 years ago. We thought he was dead." "But you always believed he survived, didn't you?" The man stands up. "Of course, I know that bastard better than anyone. Seems he's crawled out of the sewers, and of all places, Nokum. I'm going to crush his head." "But what was he doing on 23rd Street?" "The report is vague. Wilde killed the spy, but we know he spent an entire hour inside what appears to be an ordinary bookstore. He might have even bought a book." The man slams the table, furious. "A dark mage who knows every word in existence, who uses language as a weapon, went to a shop to buy a book? That makes no sense. Do we know this bookstore?" "Yes, we have records. It belongs to the Merchants Guild. It's been open for only 3 years. Has a decent reputation, but few customers. The only odd thing is that its owner isn't native to the city. Then why haven't we confirmed it as a meeting place for dark mages?"
Because the merchants are under the protection of the druids, and followers of the forest and nature never involve themselves with dark magic. Also, we can't move against the druids. They're among the tower's biggest financial backers. The man punches the wall in rage. Those tree-hugging bastards. Do you think I'm being irrational? No, of course not. Then answer me. What's the mission of the Order of Knights? To eradicate all evil and bring peace. Exactly. So we cannot tolerate evil, nor those who enable it. Wilde spent over an hour in that bookstore. Do you really think he was just there to chat, read books, and sip tea? For heaven's sake, who would believe that? Sir, the merchants fund 40% of our entire operation. Fine, then I'll go myself. I want to meet this so-called bookstore owner and see what's so special about that shop. He gets up and walks through the many corridors of the tower. Everyone greets him with utmost respect. His presence radiates power. As he walks, he reviews the file of the bookstore's owner. Lin, I'll see for myself what kind of being you really are. But right then, the man clutches his head in sudden pain. A piercing headache strikes. He begins to hallucinate again. The curse of the Sword of Candela is awakening.
Suddenly, he finds himself falling into a river, dragged under by tentacles. An elf appears, covering his mouth. When he opens his eyes again, he's already walking aimlessly through the streets. Damn it, looks like I won't be visiting that bookstore today. The Sword of Candela, due to the madness and death of its original wielder, carries a curse that drives one to insanity. Only a knight at the peak of his power could fully control it, but now the curse is consuming him. I still haven't found a proper successor. The so-called invincible holy knight of flames? Yeah, right. Now I'm just an old man. The scene changes. A body lies on the ground, its hand severed, the aftermath of the battle with the girl from earlier. A man watches. Well, well, what a mess. I clearly underestimated that young woman. After all, she's the second in command. That's no small thing. But when you face that, I wonder what you'll do. Jizixu stands before a burning church. Suddenly, men ambush her from behind, but they die mid-air, caught by invisible chains. She turns. What's the status, Max? Madam, it's confirmed. Helix is the creator of the magic mirror. It seems he's lost his mind completely. He started slaughtering hunters. So, it's him. Another subordinate rushes in. Madam, we're outnumbered. Helix has allied with the third in command, Casper, and I don't think this is the end of things. A second adds, Helix is extremely powerful. He's the only panicky-level hunter close to the White Wolf. And Casper, he trained most of the hunters himself. They've been planning this for a long time. The only reason you were betrayed was because of that treacherous bastard. Jizixu turns to him. Thank you, Kai. If we hadn't switched clothes at the right moment, and if you hadn't held off some of those monsters, I never would have made it out alone. I owe my survival to you. Kai responds, respectfully. Madam, she thinks to herself, she's incredible. I don't even know what she's been through, but she manages to suppress the effects of cursed blood and stay rational, even in her transformed state. Very few hunters can do that. That agility combined with destructive power, it's like a goddess. Not even Helix is that strong. You're the real panicky class hunter. When you transform, neither Helix nor Casper can stand against you. His name is Rat. Like Zixu, he was once part of the group that betrayed her. She reflects. It's good to have someone like him nearby. I can trust their loyalty thanks to the rune carved into their souls. Kai and Max are always able to track the mental corruption caused by the magic mirror's birth, probably due to that rune, forged by a white mage. Zixu faces her team. We all carry cursed blood. Hunting the beasts of this world is the path we chose. We are hunters. There's no turning back. Understood. Let's go. This will be our final battle. At the church gates, they kick their way in. At the altar stands Casper with a scythe pierced through his body. Kai observes. Casper, you're alone? Where's Helix? The man laughs uncontrollably. Zixu narrows her eyes. Something's wrong. She notices he's drenched in blood, completely out of his mind. She asks for a syringe. Max hands it over, and she injects it straight into Casper's chest. He keeps laughing hysterically, his body beginning to mutate. Tell me, where is Helix? He took the magic mirror generator, Casper mumbles, now delirious. The Holy Lord is coming. Grotesque things begin to erupt from his body until he dies. Zixu punches the wall, frustrated. Max asks, Madam, why don't we ask Haywood for help? He's from the magic house. He wouldn't refuse us. That won't be necessary, she replies. Kai, keep investigating with Max. Ryan, you're coming with me. Where to? 23rd Street.
Meanwhile, our protagonist is peacefully sipping a cup of coffee. Another day without a single customer. Ever since Mr. Wild and Miss G, no one's shown up in 3 days. I can only keep the store running thanks to that dark lady. Thanks to the business license and funding she provided, I can remain here as a resident. At the very least, I hope the book I gave her helps in some way. Looks like I won't be getting any more customers in this weather. Maybe I should start thinking about ways to share my knowledge. And then, who walks in? Miss G, looking sweet and clearly trying to charm the protagonist. Excuse me, Mr. Lin. Miss G, welcome. He thinks. Speak of the devil, and she appears. Is this a good sign? Maybe business is picking up again. This girl might be the key to my financial breakthrough. Time to give it my best. Didn't expect to see you so soon. Just 3 days later, you're the first customer to return this quickly. She thinks, this is a sign. He must be completely disappointed in me. Even after he guided me, I haven't been able to resolve anything. And here I am, asking for help again. I'm probably his most useless client. She notices the gargoyle Mr. Wild gifted the protagonist. My God, that thing hasn't moved an inch, but I can feel an intimidating aura from it. Even while pretending to be an ordinary man, he displays something like this here in the shop. Is he trying to comfort me or encourage me, even though I'm so weak? She apologizes. I'm sorry for bothering you, Mr. Lin. Just then, Ryan enters the store. Boss, this is the place. This is the shop. He glances at the protagonist. Wait, seriously? He's just a regular guy. The protagonist asks, Miss G, who is this? He's one of my subordinates, completely loyal, nothing to worry about. The protagonist sighs. Poor thing, that bastard messed her up so badly she introduces everyone as loyal now. But he pauses. Wait, if she brought someone along, shouldn't she be more confident? Why did she say she let me down? He serves the tea. You failed? She hesitates. Just as I thought. He already knows. I confronted him. He ran. I don't even know where he is now. I asked others to search, but no one has any updates. Truth is, I only managed to fight him for 2 days. After receiving your guidance, I was growing rapidly. I even managed to corner him. But yesterday, after 5 hours of a deadly battle, I destroyed his base. However, I paid a heavy price. And that's when I realized he wasn't even my real opponent. His partner had abandoned him and fled long ago. I underestimated everything. I'm sorry, Mr. Lin. I was careless. The protagonist, slightly confused. No, it's okay. It's not your fault. What's going on? Why is she describing a relationship like it was a battlefield? But, as they say, love, money, and war, it's all combat. She's probably just used to speaking in business terms. That's why everything sounds so intense.
Wait, that actually makes sense. She's saying they argued for 3 days, but only realized his manipulative plan on the last day, when it was too late. He escaped, with his partner, and her money. He turns to her. I completely understand you. She asks, what do you think? But Ryan, standing in the back, starts to sense something odd. Flashback, minutes earlier. Ryan on the phone. What? The faceless black scale, Wild, is in Nakim? Man, that's classified info. How did you even find out? You doubting me? No, of course not. It's just that this info is huge, super helpful. Cut the flattery. I've got things to do. If you want more info, check what I posted in the society logs. The man hangs up. This time, I have a new mission, and the target is her. He glares at G with contempt. That poor girl really thinks the seal she placed on me will stop me. But I have to admit, she's got an interesting power. At that moment, Kai appears. There you are, rat. The madam is looking for you. We're heading out. Maybe it's time you'll learn a little discipline, don't you think? Rat stands awkwardly, adjusts his hat, and replies, all right, I'll go talk to her. Clearly, he's been plotting a way to steal Jixu's blood control powers, even while she's transformed. Back at the bookstore, Ryan is puzzled. Why is she treating this guy with so much respect? He seems like nothing more than a regular bookstore owner. No matter how I look at it, she's treating him like a god. What's going on here? Jixu continues. Please, guide me once again. The protagonist answers calmly. You don't need to worry so much. In truth, things are simpler than they appear. Your enemy now isn't him, but something else. What you fear is fear itself. Wait a little longer, and good news will come. Ryan listens, then thinks. This is all nonsense. Vague words, persuasion tricks. I know this type. He's a complete fraud. The protagonist turns to G. I'm sorry, but I'll need to step out for a moment. Just a few things to take care of. I'll be back in 5 minutes. In reality, he just needs to use the bathroom. Too much tea. As he heads upstairs, Ryan leans in. Boss, what exactly are you doing here? She turns sharply. Insolent! What kind of tone is that? I brought you here because his insights are useful. It doesn't mean I trust or value you. You clearly don't even understand basic etiquette. Behave yourself. Ryan insists. But he's a liar. His tricks might seem elegant, but I know at least 3 others with the same level of skill. She instantly draws her sword and points it at his neck. Shut up. I knew I shouldn't have brought you. You're corrupted, always thinking of evil things. If you weren't useful, I would have killed you already. Ryan, sweating, thinks. Easy. She's just a naive girl. She'll be easy to manipulate. I just need to redirect that blind trust toward me. I'm loyal to you, and you'll see that now. When he comes back, I'll prove it. Ryan subtly readies a poisoned arrow hidden in his sleeve. But at that moment, the gargoyle by the door senses the intent to kill. The creature lunges at Ryan, grabs him, crushes him, swallows him whole. Gone, not a trace left behind. The gargoyle calmly returns to its original position. The protagonist comes down the stairs. Sorry to keep you waiting. And your subordinate, where is he? Did something happen? Ji sits in silence, trying to process everything. He acted. The shopkeeper even gave him a warning. In a single instant, Ryan vanished. But even I wouldn't have reacted fast enough. If that gargoyle had attacked me, I'd be dead without a trace. And the worst part, this creature is so close to me. It's like I'm staring death in the face. It's terrifying. I bet he knew about Ryan's recklessness from the start and stepped away just to avoid dirtying his hands. Elegant, but brutal. Combined with such disregard for life, he must be a dark mage. What am I supposed to do now? How do I get out of this? I knew I shouldn't have brought that bastard here. Forget asking for help. Mr. Lin is probably furious. He might even think I'm behind all this. Is something wrong, Miss G? You look a bit pale. Relax. Coming here is supposed to be a peaceful experience. No need to look so frightened. Do you really think I'd eat you? Yup, he says that. Jishu panics internally. Crap, I'm sorry. He was just my attendant. He's a little rude. I knew I shouldn't have brought him. Please don't take it the wrong way. The protagonist is confused. Why is she so panicked? I was just joking. Does she really think I eat people? No, that can't be. How could a harmless and friendly civilian like me do something so cruel? This girl, I knew it. She's way too naive. She believes everything people do. No wonder that guy in her story fooled her. Well, since that's the case, I need to give her another soul healing session. I know I earned her trust last time. She came back after all. I just need to calm her down again. Miss G, I'm sorry. That was just a silly joke. I'm not very good with those things. Now, back to business. If you have anything in mind, let me know. I'll do my best to help you. Phew, looks like he forgave me. I need to be more careful. Mr. Lin, I'm sorry for causing trouble. Please, could you recommend a book suited for me? My mental strength is still too weak. If that's the case, let me think. I was gone for 5 minutes, and it looks like she got spiritually shaken. Was it because of her subordinate's sudden departure? He asks. Miss G, that subordinate of yours, he didn't seem very trustworthy. It's better not to speak of absolute loyalty so freely. She suddenly stands up. What do you mean? But stops herself, thinking, wait, Mr. Lin wouldn't say something like that for no reason. Maybe there's something wrong with the rune's loyalty. Loyalty runes, only the mage who creates them knows how to break them. And the one who inscribed Ryan's rune was a mage from my own family. He's supported by my father, Mage Haywood. If Ryan's rune failed, that means the mage from my own family is breaking runes to betray others. She sits back down, dazed, and murmurs, "How can this be? Who am I supposed to trust now?" The protagonist answers, "Trust yourself. You can only depend on yourself. People are cruel. No matter what you do, you can't expose everything. Once you become as unbreakable as metal, no one will ever defeat you." Metal?
He hands her a book and says, "How the Steel Was Tempered. Give this masterpiece a read. No matter what you take from it, it will help you in some way." As usual, he places a hand on her shoulder and recites, "The most precious thing a man possesses is his life. For him, it is given only once. He must live in such a way that he does not suffer torment for wasted years, nor feel burning shame for a petty past. Therefore, he must forge his own destiny." Standing in the rain, reflecting on those words, Guy stares at the book, Steel Will. The moment she opens it, it's as if she's transported somewhere else. A malevolent eye watches her from above. She hears, "An unyielding will of steel has a direct impact on the soul's power." Confused, she starts perceiving everything happening in the shop. When she sees Ryan's head emerging from inside the gargoyle, she realizes his rune truly had been broken. Using a type of spiritual projection, she enters the bookstore in spirit and speaks to Ryan, now trapped. "Hello, Ryan. It's been a while, hasn't it?" He's frozen, unable to move or react. She continues, "Mr. Lin is truly amazing. He easily altered my soul's structure, even granted me an immense amount of mana. I think I'll finally surpass the panicky rank. This sensation, this overwhelming fulfillment, it's not bad at all. Such a generous reward. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say he gave me a second life. Mr. Lin is clearly trying to build influence among the hunters bit by bit. He wants to completely reshape the hierarchy of the hunting world. That's why he was so eager to help me. I understand his intention now, completely. From this moment forward, I swear absolute loyalty to him.
My body and everything else will be his to command. Meanwhile, the protagonist gazes out the window. Gi, outside, has a nosebleed. She places her hand between her legs and dashes off. The protagonist watches, puzzled. Wait a second, she was still here? And why did her nose suddenly start bleeding? Is this girl a yandere? After being dumped by that bastard, she keeps coming to my store. No, I can't think like that. She's a very wealthy client. There's no way someone like her would fall for a guy like me. I should be thinking about how to attract more customers, not this nonsense. At that moment, someone approaches the bookstore's door. So this is the suspicious bookstore. Damn it, I still don't get why that old man keeps visiting this tiny shop. But now that I've found a lead, I can't let the opportunity slip by. I'll go in and check for myself, instead of relying on rumors from spies. Inside the shop, the protagonist is reorganizing a shelf and thinks, "That girl really brought me some luck. Another customer on a rainy day like this?" The door opens. The captain steps in with firm, heavy steps. The protagonist immediately notices the stern expression. "Welcome. Is there anything I can help you with? You can read, borrow, or even buy a book." The captain scans the space. This really does look like an ordinary shop. I don't sense any mana fluctuations. In that case, no need to waste time talking about Old Wild. This owner, he probably doesn't know anything. He walks around the place until he stops in front of the gargoyle. This is odd. Old Wild would never give something like this to someone without a reason. He turns to the protagonist. "Are you the owner of this store?" The protagonist thinks, "Whoa, this guy doesn't seem very friendly. I need to lighten the mood. Got it. I'll call him Gramps." "Yes, Gramps, this shop is mine." The captain immediately bristles with rage. "Gramps? If a younger knight called me that, I might let it slide. You're lucky you're a civilian, or I'd have cut you down already." He points to the gargoyle. "Is that thing yours?" "It was a gift from a customer, a souvenir, but it's not for sale." The knight growls. "You think I want to buy that trash? What would a radiant knight like me do with a gargoyle made by dark mages?" "You're lucky." Frank Wilde, that was his name, right? The protagonist becomes alert. So, he knows Old Wild. He starts analyzing the man's tone and body language. Did they have a history? Some kind of conflict? Meanwhile, the captain thinks, "Why did that old rat reveal his name to this ordinary guy, and even gave him a gargoyle like that? I thought this place was a meeting spot for dark mages, but this guy seems like a regular person. Maybe they're just using the store to exchange information." The protagonist reflects. "It's not what I think it is. My years of reading people tell me, despite his rough presence, he's not a bad person. And more than that, he hasn't broken anything since stepping in. He must have a gentle soul. A person like that probably isn't an enemy of Old Wild. As Sherlock Holmes said, remove the impossible, and whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. In that case, there's only one logical conclusion. Gramps, is Mr. Wilde a friend of yours?" The captain gets even more irritated. "Friend? At best, you could say we've known each other for many years. We've shared tears and blood, but we had a falling out 2 years ago. I haven't heard from him since." He thinks to himself, "If I find him, I'll rip his head off and crush his insides just like I did 2 years ago." But somehow, he still managed to escape death. The protagonist watches, excited. My goodness, 2 old men with such a deep connection? That's heartwarming. Now I get why you didn't say you came here because of Mr. Wilde. The bond between you two must be strong. He'll be so touched to hear this." The knight replies, "I hope so. I've been searching for him for years. Did he leave any contact info? If you can tell me, I'd like to visit him in person." "Unfortunately, I don't have Mr. Wilde's address," the protagonist replies. If I did, I'd give it to you. But he borrowed a book a few days ago and should be back soon. When he returns, I'll tell him you came by. In the meantime, how about sitting down for a bit? Maybe read something. Rest? Do I look tired to you? He pauses for a second, thinking. He keeps the same courteous tone even with mutant clients. Interesting guy. How long has it been since I spoke to someone this casually? Ever since I became a radiant knight, all I hear is, "How are you, sir? Did you eat well, sir?" I guess I'll take this rare chance to relax. He turns to the protagonist. Don't underestimate old folks. I was standing, but I wasn't tired. But if you insist, I'll sit. And I'll take the tea. But I don't want to read, and I didn't bring money. You bastard, thinks the protagonist. He's not opening up at all. That arrogant tone. He says, reading is free for anything on the shelves behind me. But here, take the tea first. The old man replies, forget the books. I won't be here long anyway. He starts feeling the familiar headache from the sword. This damn pain, getting worse every time. He accidentally bumps his elbow into a book nearby. When he glances at it, he sees a demonic aura. The title reads, Seed of the Abyss. Seed of the Abyss? The protagonist quickly steps in. Lately, I've been reading a light fairy tale, extremely relaxing, soothes the soul. Want to take a look? Helps with sleep, too. Fairy tale? That's childish. You're a grown man. Why read that kind of stuff? The protagonist thinks, my God, that condescending tone. But responds, I understand. That's a shame. But this is the best fairy tale I've ever read. Also, it's the only copy in all of Nokem. He hands the book over. The old man looks at it. Wait a second. This book you mentioned, you said it was a fairy tale? You sure? Yes, a great read, one of the classics. The cover reads, The Little Prince. But the knight feels something's off. Something's weird. Why is it titled Seed of the Abyss if he calls it a fairy tale? What kind of horror story does he consider bedtime reading? Damn it, now I'm curious. But don't get me wrong, I'm not interested. I just don't want to seem rude rejecting a book you insisted on. The protagonist thinks, this Gramps looks rough on the outside, but he's all soft inside. If I'm right, he's going to fall in love with this story. But then, as soon as the knight touches the book, his headache intensifies. He's suddenly teleported to the presence of the Sword of Condella. The Sword of Condella, it's responding to something, but why now? Then it hits him. That was it. This is the bedtime fairy tale. This is what it meant. He collapses. The protagonist panics. Sir? Gramps? Are you okay? He thinks. Oh God, did he catch a cold from the rain? Or was it a heart attack? Let me check his pulse. Huh? It's perfect. Better than mine when I was younger. So why did he just collapse out of nowhere? Was it because of my book? It makes no sense. Who faints just from seeing the cover of The Little Prince? No choice now. The guy passed out in my store. I'll have to make him comfortable and wait for him to wake up so I can ask what happened. He tries to carry the old man to a small cot in the back of the store. Damn, he's heavy. If only I had another customer around to help me. But with this weather, forget it. Sorry, but there's no other way. He grabs the captain by his cloak and starts dragging him. At the shop's entrance, a little cat watches the scene unfold. The protagonist drops the old man into a chair and notices something strange. A mechanical arm. He's an amputee just like Old Wild, and this arm is seriously complex. No average civilian could use something like this. And look at that build, that voice. Could he be a retired military officer? No doubt, that aura, the defensive posture, and the mental scars. He probably sees that missing arm as a reminder of his battlefield days. People like him are tough to deal with, and on top of that, arrogant. Maybe the rain caused a short circuit. Most likely, the arm malfunctioned. But looking at this scene from the outside, it really looks like I'm doing something shady. Anyone watching this would think I'm a serial killer who knocked him out and is now dragging him away to finish the job. God, I have to stop thinking like this. While the protagonist was enjoying the quiet breeze, what's staring at him wide-eyed? The little cat, likely someone transformed. Seeing the grizzled vet knocked out, the protagonist thinks, dude, he really liked that book, still holding it while knocked out. Tough old man. Well, even hardened veterans deserve sweet dreams once in a while. Sleep tight. But then he hears the door click shut. Someone's coming. He walks to the entrance and sees a little paw slip past. Stepping outside, he sees the cat running away. Aw, just a kitty. Hey, it's dangerous out here. Be careful and get home safe. But the cat runs like it just saw a ghost. And suddenly, transformation. A new character appears, Morrison. Like the captain, he works in the secret tower and is Joseph's biggest fan. He studied obsessively to join the intelligence office just to be near him. His loyalty led him to uncover everything about the Joseph Wilde history. Worried about Joseph's health, Morrison followed him to the bookstore. Seeing it was just a regular shop, he relaxed. Nothing could go wrong here. Just looks like a normal bookstore. No magic readings. Maybe I'll even ask for an autograph when he comes out. But 10 minutes later? Why is he taking so long? I'll just take a peek. Not because I want to see his heroic figure or anything, just to make sure he's okay. He walks in and sees Joseph unconscious. What? He was fine just now. Who's this Clark? Did he use some kind of dark magic? At that moment, the protagonist, looking at Joseph, says, "Even tough veterans like you need sweet dreams. Sleep well." Morrison panics. Sleep well? He's sending the sacred invincible sword to an eternal slumber? No way. Joseph would have escaped if he could. This is a disaster. He noticed me. I need to run. He bolts in desperation, and the protagonist, still outside, comments, "It's dangerous out here, huh? Be careful." In the rain, Morrison cries, "So this is what it feels like to almost die. He could have caught me, but let me go. He wants me to go back and report everything. But I have no choice. I must return to HQ and inform them. Sir Joseph, wait for me. I'll be back." Meanwhile, inside Joseph's mind, he's still trapped in the dark sea of the sword. But for the first time, he doesn't feel pain. A voice speaks. "When you gaze into the abyss gazes back at you." All the knowledge from the fairy tale floods his mind. Good God, all this from that book? I can't absorb it all. The sword responds, "I'm glad. I finally got to meet you." The pain begins to fade. Could it be that Candela is awakening? Images appear. An elf, the sword's original wielder. Joseph wakes up, startled, back in the real world. "Gramps is awake," says the protagonist. "Thank you," Joseph replies with a smile.
Don't worry about that. Are you feeling any better?
Better than ever. The protagonist thinks, a retired soldier with that monstrous build. My people-reading skills are sharper than ever. Impressive. Then he reflects, wait, with that kind of strength, he could kill someone with a single punch. If he hits Wild, the old man's body would go flying. Good thing they're friends. Joseph apologizes. "Sorry for accepting your hospitality and still causing this trouble. It's all right. I told Mr. Wilde the same thing. It's only natural to help my customers to the best of my ability." Joseph observes, "I see. That attitude. Just like he said. He helps anyone, no matter their affiliation. If you step into his store, he'll treat you kindly, regardless of ideology. Such kindness. I've only ever seen that in one race, the elves. So elegant, full of knowledge. It would make sense if he were an elf. He abandoned the notion of right and wrong. He simply chose to help others. That gentleness, that grace, that refinement can only come from years and years of cultivation. And why a bookstore? Probably because of the knowledge. Nowadays, humans don't care about books anymore. Joseph keeps reflecting. In the legends, Candela was a prince of the ancient Elven kingdom. Later, he became the Moon King of the Elves and ended up being the source of the plague. He was the first to lose his mind. He killed himself with his own sword, which sealed his soul. His soul returned to the sword, which became the sword of the Mad King. Ever since, anyone who wielded the sword would lose their sanity and die. Until today, I believed there was no hope for me. But that book, it managed to calm Candela. Who else but an elf could possess a book holding such ancient secrets? He must be one of the great elders. He used all his mana for longevity, which is why there's no detectable magical presence. It all makes sense now. Mr. Lin, you said this was the only copy and that you truly liked it. Even so, would you allow me to take it with me? The protagonist, noticing Joseph trying to hide his emotions, replies, "Of course, I wouldn't have recommended it if it wasn't available for my customers." He thinks, every child needs validation, and says, "I knew from the start that this book was perfect for you." Many people carry pain and regret. They feel their strength is not enough. That doubt leads to madness, especially for those who've seen too much blood on the battlefield. What truly breaks them isn't the pain, it's the erosion of their kindness. Joseph murmurs, "Kindness." The last two wielders of the sword fell to the belief that they weren't good enough. But is it wrong to be good? The protagonist answers, arms crossed, "Being kind is good, but the key word is weakness." Kind people tend to take on great responsibility and want to seem dependable. To hide their flaws, they wear a mask of strength, but that defense becomes their biggest weakness. That kindness might save others, but it won't save you. When your spirit weakens, you become vulnerable to everything. Sometimes it's better not to try being the hero or to pretend to be invincible. Remember, for someone in your position, it also takes great courage to simply live like a normal person without burdens. The protagonist gets emotional, nearly tearing up at his own words. Joseph is visibly moved, leaning forward in thought. Now it makes sense. It's not that the sword corrupts you with madness. It's the perfection it demands that drives you insane. Damn it, why didn't anyone realize this before?
But how long will I stay calm? The protagonist thinks, this guy's a bit unhinged. If fairy tales were this effective, we wouldn't need therapists. And responds, you won't stay calm for long, but if you want, I can help you handle it. I guarantee lasting results. Now I've got myself another regular customer, he thinks. Joseph suddenly stands. What did you say? The bookstore owner will handle the entire curse of Candela by himself? Joseph recalls old conversations. People said he, the former Radiant, had wielded the sword longer than anyone. But maybe that was only because he was already so far gone that the sword had nothing left to corrupt. His title of Invincible once intimidated enemies, but maybe now he was just waiting to lose himself completely before the sword claimed him. He thinks, maybe retirement wasn't so bad after all. Maybe this is the perfect time for the sword to find a new wielder. Are you sure this won't be a bother for you? He asks the protagonist. Man, he really is friends with Old Wild, thinks the protagonist. These two really care about others. The protagonist thinks, this'll be easy, I'm basically a professional life coach, and says, don't worry, you can barely stand. If you want, I'll give you this book. You've been carrying this burden for too long. You and your heroic companions deserve rest. Joseph watches him with admiration. Such grace, such elegance, just as I suspected. Only someone who's lived that long could show this kind of gentleness. There's no reason to rest, he says. I'll only rest once this world is at peace. But may I borrow this book for a few days? I'll return in a week. Perfect, says the protagonist. No problem at all. Just leave your contact information here, and we'll get everything sorted. It seems Joseph's overbearing sense of justice is the root of his pain. The protagonist hands him a pen and paper. You just need to make a one-time deposit, sign your name, and write the return date. We'll refund half if you don't want any more books. Joseph, surprised, thinks, so this really is just a bookstore after all. Then I'll see you in a week, right? Says the protagonist. Joseph responds, I have no regrets. The only thing left for me is to bring justice to this world. Even if Wilde survived with help from this clerk, sooner or later he will die by my hands. It's my responsibility. That's my duty. Meanwhile, Wilde is deep in his research. This knowledge is as vast as the skies, as deep as the oceans. As expected from Mr. Lin, my mind is trembling. Such uncontrollable euphoria. This sacrificial ritual is so wild and terrifying, yet so precise. A grotesque masterpiece. He continues, perhaps now the so-called faceless black-scaled one will return. That first book, The Language of Demons, was only a glimpse of the greater truth. The cult of ghouls may finally let me understand this terrible civilization. Such magnificence, it's mesmerizing. And all of it, thanks to Mr. Lin. I've prepared a gift for him. I'm sure he'll love it.
In the next chapter, Joseph's assistant, Claude, is stunned. What? He was in a bookstore and passed out just from looking at the shopkeeper? Claude pressures the informant. Is that even possible? I need to send someone there. But if Joseph fainted, no one else will stand a chance. If I send someone weak, they'll just die. The result would be catastrophic. The phone rings. Claude answers, panicked. What? What's the situation? Joseph is already leaving the bookstore, comes the reply. Joseph takes the phone. Claude? Professor, are you all right? What are your orders? Evacuate all investigators from 23rd Street immediately. Classify the bookstore as Class 1, Ultra Secret Area. Class 1? But that's unthinkable. Joseph, what happened? Joseph notices the cats nearby and asks, Is someone there with you? Claude hesitates. Yes. He was about to give more details, but since he's not alone, he simply says, Stay quiet and continue your work. Understood, Professor. I'm updating the system now. Claude thinks. Joseph is still the same. Sounds like he's about to kill you when he talks, but as long as you follow orders, things go smoothly. Shortly after, Claude calls Central and officially logs the bookstore as a Class I entity. Joseph walks into the room. Good work, Claude. Who was with you earlier? Don't forget to use a forgetting rune on him, okay? He picks up the unconscious kitten. This is our investigator, Morrison Gregg. He's from a family of shapeshifters, and he's your #1 fan. He's in like 13 of your fan groups, and even pitched into a fundraiser to engrave your name in gold after last year's incident. You could say he's your biggest admirer. Joseph thinks for a moment. He did all that. I've heard mage families are pretty wealthy. Is that true, Claude? Claude agrees with Joseph, and Joseph adds, Instead of wasting money on silly stuff like that, why doesn't he donate directly to his idol? I'd definitely make him one of my knight apprentices. He'd have way more access. He'd love it. Claude, frustrated, thinks, Damn it, how can a radiant knight be so greedy and shameless? He just wants to milk the kid for cash. But since it was an order, he says, All right, I'll make him your knight. Perfect. That way I don't even have to spend on a forgetting rune. Next, we see the report Joseph filed about the protagonist's bookstore. Classification DI. Zone, Class 1. Location, bookstore in Upper City, Nooken. Danger level, friendly. Security level, ultra secret. Description. The store owner appears to be an ancient recluse. His services include renting and selling books. The books possess immense and mysterious powers. This classified document should be enough to keep people far away from that bookstore. Of course, if some idiot still wants to go take a look, good luck. Cut to Joseph at home, annoyed, speaking on the phone. I'm fine, man. Seriously. Who said I died? Are you blind? If I were dead, you wouldn't even care. I'm off duty, so go bother someone else. Bye. He hangs up, muttering. Even if the sword calmed my pain, my temper's still the same. calm and peaceful? Yeah, right. The phone rings again. Ugh, seriously, who's calling me at this hour? This sword society better increase my salary with all these new labor laws. These emotional damages are killing me. He's in his daughter's room. Don't forget to drink your milk. She replies, I know, Dad, I'm not a kid anymore, okay? I'm a captain-level abnormal knight now. You don't need to remind me of everything. I know, sweetie. I don't say it to baby you. It's just that, if you don't drink it, how are you going to find a husband? Dad!
She's outraged by the indirect jab at her chest. She thinks, this old man's got muscles for brains. But then her eyes are drawn to a book on the table. Curious, she opens it. What would that meathead be reading? I've never seen this book before. She starts reading. Her eyes light up. She's clearly into it. Meanwhile, her dad is still ranting on the phone. Quit bugging me. That shopkeeper knocked me out without even breaking a sweat. You people don't get it, do you? Don't do anything stupid. I won't be saving anyone if you mess up. His daughter closes the book and runs off. He shouts, Melissa, drink the milk. She yells back, Ugh, damn it, and slams the door. The rebellious phase. It's fine, as long as she's growing up healthy. Outside the door, Melissa thinks, who wrote that book? Is the protagonist really the Elven King Candela? Why did it all feel so grand and real? Ugh, this sucks, and I didn't even finish it. I was just getting to the best part. She reflects, I was too harsh on Dad. I heard what he said, something about the bookstore being highly classified. But who cares? It's just a bookstore. She accesses the system. Database key, Class 1 clearance access. Oh, it worked. Mom's access is still active. She used to be one of the Radiant Knights. Thanks, Mom. After reading that novel, I swear I'll train hard to become an excellent knight. I won't let you down. She finds the entry. Bookstore, Class 1, friendly. Nothing serious. In that case, I'll go check it out. She drinks her milk. Will they finally grow? That's the recap for today. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment about your favorite moment. See you next time.